just like the inside of an Aravel in here, doesn't it? You must be homesick. Do you worship the Pantheon, Lethalon? I'd wondered. I don't like to assume. In the times that I've encountered other elves out on the road, I've seen kinds from remembering walk of life, even those who have never even heard of the Pantheon. But I suppose that you're an exception in that you're very clearly Dalish, like myself. I'm here to dress your wounds. We happen to have no healers in the tower today. As you see, the wardens are still recovering from the blight, from Amaranthine. Well, onward I go. Now, I may not be able to use magic to heal you instantly, but I know enough of my time to understand how to properly cleanse it at least. Well, now where's the... Thank you. It doesn't look too bad. Certainly not infected yet. Indeed. I'm surprised that you can recognize me without all of the armor and the retinue and such, but indeed. No need to call me Commander of the Grey or whatever title they've put upon me. Just Mahariel is fine. No, you see, I understand that in some armies, the commander isn't the sort to meet one-on-one with the people that they're protecting. However, the wardens are in shambles, and I have never been one to stand aside and let others do the work for me. So you've had quite the day, haven't you? I understand you have gone through what most can only see in their nightmares. I suppose it's not so rare in the time of the Blight, or in general, we live in troubled times now. But I've heard some troubling talk that you've requested to join the Wardens. There's no need to deny it if it's true. The problem is if you join the Wardens, I'm going to learn either way. So, lying about it or circumventing it, there's no point. Am I trying to stop you? I don't know if I would call it that. I don't try to stop anyone from joining the Wardens. Gods know that we need it. We need the help. We've lost so many, and our numbers aren't coming back in any short order. No, I'm here tonight because I see in you so much of myself. Perhaps it's egotistical to make any assumptions about you and I, to decide that we have anything in common at all. I've known you for barely a day. However, I see in your eyes something familiar. So rather than stopping you, I'd say that what I'm doing tonight is offering you a chance to choose your own fate, which is something too few of us have. Much too few. My decision to join the Wardens was hardly a decision at all. It was either join the Wardens or die. I was in a situation in which the only way to survive was to do the joining. And there's not much I can say about that before you've made your choice. But I didn't have one. I didn't have a choice. There was only one road ahead of me, and I took it. You see that I don't even have the entirety of my Valisline. The year that I joined the Wardens was the year that I attempted to get them the Valisline, you see. But I was so young and so naive and so unready. No matter how hard I tried, I was just barely but a puppy in a world full of wolves. And in the middle of receiving them, I cried out. And as you know, you have the marks yourself. As you know, that means that we cannot continue, so they told me next year you can try again. By the next year, I was with the Wardens, and my clan was nowhere to be found. I haven't seen them since. I was not able to choose my fate, but as a part of the Wardens, I have come to decide the fate of countries. I have some bandages with me, if you don't mind. The Wardens are meant to stay out of political conflict, and yet that's what happened. The Wardens are supposed to be able to repel Darkspawn, and at Ostagar they couldn't. No matter what I say to try to prepare you, should you go down this same path, there is nothing I can do to prepare you for the unpredictability of life and fate. I'm sure you know that. You've lost enough today to know that. But I want to let you know that this is not a decision to be made with haste. I will not stop you, but I must warn you. The Wardens take everything, and you may not think that you have much to take, but they will find it in a way. Fate will find it, and you will never be prepared for what that means. No matter how much your experiences have hardened you, it will not be enough. If I were trying to scare you, just the reality of the Warden should be enough for that. but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. In the course of my time as a warden, I found people who filled a place in my heart that I thought I lost when I had to join. And I've lost the love of my life to fate, to a decision that I made, knowing what it would cost me, but still realizing that it's about doing what's better for the greater good, rather than what you need for yourself. It's making the hard decisions. He lives still, but he lives apart from me. And how can he lose everything twice? It's interesting, isn't it? I want to give you comfort for all that you've gone through today, but know that it is not something that you can get used to if you decide to join. So I ask you to make your decision with full knowledge of what that means. Alright. Well, you're bandaged. So, you needn't make your decision now. I only wish to speak to you in private because I thought that more appropriate. No, it's not standard. However, what can they do? I am the commander, and we are in so many pieces and so broken that we can't afford to let someone go because they decided to make an attempt at telling someone what they would be getting into. The only thing worse than someone going into the wardens and feeling unprepared for the trials ahead is someone coming into the wardens feeling that way and deserting. The joining needn't be in a crowd full of people. In fact, the tower that you've chosen, with its gaping hole in the stone, well, I think it's almost appropriate, don't you? We Dalish say that some of the most important things in the world ought to take place under the open sky, under the sight of the stars. And well, if you wish to go through the joining, if you wish to make that decision now, I'm willing to start the ritual here, just between you and I, and that can be something else that you have unique. Alright? If you're sure. I suppose that now that the words have been spoken, we can prepare the joining ritual. I brought some with me, knowing that you're likely too stubborn to say no. That you're likely too stubborn to heed my advice. Although I suppose it's not my right to make that decision for you. You want to know what the joining involves. No, this isn't standard either. The joining involves imbibing yourself with Darkspawn Blood. In this ritual, you will become blighted yourself. And if you survive, then, well, you're one of us. This is the chalice, joining chalice. much smaller in person, doesn't it seem? I know you've seen it sitting at the end of the hall. You've seen the way that you looked at it. Oh, this? Well, I've always asked Anders to put our lyrium in less intimidating bottles, but he rarely listens to me. So, it's simply lyrium. It's not the dangerous part. Begins with lyrium, and with it, we'll be mixing in a lot of other herbs, already pre-prepared by our alchemist. However, don't think that this is something light enough for us to do it willy-nilly. We have it prepared, but to do so is still a big deal. I despise using the rite of conscription, and even now, I don't believe that we're allowed to. The blight is over. The fight is not over. There's a lot of Darkspawn left to kill. Fruit, blood lotus, a lot of other little tidbits. Nothing really too harmful. Quite a lot to take in. There'll be deep gulps for sure. We have the Darkspawn Blood ready. It's an interesting thing about Darkspawn Blood. When it first comes out of them, it's as dark and thick as any blood you've ever seen, perhaps more so, like they're already dead and rotting from the inside. However, once you've bottled it, once you've contained it, it becomes this incredible gold color. Like a thin oil, rather than the disgusting globules that it usually comes out in. And I wonder to myself sometimes, how can something so pretty come out of something so despicable? See that? Drip, drip, drip. So thin now, thinner than normal blood. Well. Before the joining, we often say a few words. It's part of the ritual aspect. one that I'm not particularly inclined to ignore. And so, please close your eyes for a moment, and we can speak the words. Just repeat after me. Close your eyes. Join us, brothers and sisters. Join us in the shadows where we stand vigilant. Join us as we carry the duty that cannot be forsworn. And should you perish, know that your sacrifice will not be forgotten, and that one day we shall join you. I will be honest again, although it's past the point of turning back. You may not survive this. You know how being blighted very rarely does. And after you have participated in the joining, your life is limited. From this day, perhaps 30 years if you're lucky, and then the calling will bring you down to the deep roads, and you will fight Darkspawn until you die. Your life is guaranteed to be short, but I'm sure that you know that already. You've already made this choice, and I see in your eyes that you wouldn't leave now even if you could. Now, take my hand. I promise you, from this day forth, I can't participate in favoritism, but I'm on your side, as I am with every other warden who I have sworn into this service. I am by your side, and I am with you, and I will help you, and together we can survive, perhaps just for one more day, into an end that satisfies us, rather than some tragic end that so many of us would mean otherwise. This is an honor, and I believe that with the prowess that I've seen from you and your ability to even survive what you went through today, that you're ready for it. I want you to take a few deep breaths with me. It'll help. Okay. And here you go.